Hello everybody, this is Coding Atlas, and today we're not gonna have too much stuff to learn, and the video is gonna be short. And we're gonna use the project which we made in the previous video, so if you didn't watch it, you can find it in the description below. However, you don't really need it to understand the topic, so you can just watch and then do this stuff in your own project, for example. So, what are we gonna learn? Firstly, constructors. You see here we have an initialize method, public void initialize, and we give a name here. There's an easier way to do this. We can say instead of using this, we would be able to give the parameters in here. So let's try to do this. Firstly, let's remove this method here because we won't use it anymore. And let's create a method called, actually it's not a method, it's a constructor, it's called constructor. And the way it's declared is firstly the modifier, which is always public for constructors, because it makes sense, you're gonna use it outside of the class. Then you put the name of your class, in our case it's bank account. Here you put the parameters, let's say string name, balance. Actually we don't need the balance, so only name. Yeah. And what we are doing here, now the second thing we're learning, this keyword, this dot name equals to name. What's going on here? Why do we have two names? And why do we put name inside of the name? This dot name is the name variable of the object. So this is basically the object which we are working with. This name is a parameter which we give into the constructor. If it was like this, it wouldn't make any sense because we'd put name of the object instead of the name of the object. It doesn't make any sense. If we write it like this, it also wouldn't make any sense because we put name from parameter into the same variable, like into the same parameter variable. So it doesn't make any sense. We use this dot name equal to name. So it means like we put the name from parameter into the name of the object. It's that simple. Now this dot balance equal to 0. You can write just balance equal to 0, but this way it's more specific. So you specify which balance you put 0. The balance of this object. You can write it however you want, I just prefer writing it with this to be more specific. Okay, let's see how it works. Now, this don't work because we removed the methods. And these now require some value inside. So let's give it Alex and Bob. Let's try run it. And we get same result as in the previous result. It's exactly the same. We just optimized our code in a way in which we don't have to declare any initialize methods. We do it inside of the construct. We do it while initializing the actual object, like in here. That's what a constructor does. So it's pretty simple. Now let's add one more thing. Let's add a static. Now we're learning what static is. Let's say static string, bank name. Bank name, and let's say it is equal to I don't know, C# bank. Okay. Now, because it's private, we can't access it. Like by default, every single field and method, if we don't give a modifier like this, it is private by default. But it's always better to give the modifier so you see specifically what modifier is this field. So, private static string. Not static private string, not string private static string. First the modifier, then static if you have it, then the type and the name. That's how you name it. Now, because it's private, as I said before, we cannot access it. And I made it because imagine somebody not knowing that the name shouldn't change, and he tries to change it. That's a big problem because we don't want to change the name. So what we do instead, we make it private so nobody can access it at all, even reading. And we create a getter. We're gonna learn getters and setters in the next video, but for now, just think of it as a method to get a value. So we'll call it public string get bank name. And it will return bank name, but instead of we're just gonna do public static string because it should be static. And look what static means. Here, because we put static, this field is gonna be same for all the class. It's not gonna be dependent on the object. So you can't have like account1.bankname, account2.bankname. You have general class.bankname. It's like console.writeLine. Console is the class, writeLine is the method, a static method. Here, getBankName, we also call it from the bank account method, from the bank account class. We don't call it from separate accounts. Same as console writeLine, console readLine, and so on. So if we want to print it, console.writeLine, bank account.getBankName. So static makes a field or a method specific to the whole class, not to the objects. Let's run it. And you can see bank, C#bank. And it works. So that's all for today. It's a very short tutorial. If you have any questions, ask in the comment section below. Subscribe to the channel, like the video. See you in the next one. Goodbye.